I'll order the regular meeting for the corporation of the Township of Brunel, Lyndoch and Raglan this third day of July, 2024 at 7:01 p.m. As we gather this evening, I'd like to acknowledge on behalf of this council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. We are extremely grateful for their many continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Roll call, Councillor Banks.
Yes.
Councillor Campbell. Here. Councillor Keller.
Here.
Councillor Quad.
Present.
Okay. We have a resolution to adopt our agenda. That we, the council for the corporation of the Township of Brunel, Lyndoch and Raglan, adopt the agenda as submitted. We get a mover. Councillor Keller, seconded by Councillor Banks. Any comments, questions?
No.
Call for the vote, all those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None, motion is carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest with anything on the agenda?
I have one and it's with, item 9.2.
Okay, so, during the month of June, I attended the regular meetings, either in person or by Zoom for the county. And seeing that we just, went through Canada Day, I'd like to thank the rec committees from Palmer and Quadville and all the volunteers and our fire department for, putting out the fireworks for our Canada Day celebrations. They were well attended and a lot of good comments, so thank you to all of those people. And other than that, I don't have anything else to report. Clerk's report.
June was a pretty quiet month. I attended one meeting. It was the capital sector meeting for emergency management.
Okay.
It was useful.
Okay, we've done delegations or presentations, so thank you everyone for coming out tonight. We have a resolution to adopt minutes that we, the council of the corporation of the Township of Brunel, Lyndoch and Raglan, hereby adopt the minutes of the regular council meeting of June the 5th, 2024 as presented. Can I get a mover for that, please?
Document.
Moved by Councillor Caulfield, seconded by Councillor Banks. Any comments or questions?
No.
I'll call the roll, all those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None, resolution is carried. We have a resolution for direct committee minutes. That council for the corporation of the Township of Brunel, Lyndoch and Raglan, accept the May 14th, 2024 recreation committee minutes as presented. Can we get a mover for that, please?
Document.
Councillor Caulfield, seconded by Councillor Keller. Any questions or comments?
No.
Okay, call for the vote, all those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Done. Resolution is carried. Okay, so we have the proposed snowmobile trail. And we have a staff report that was put together from all of the questions and concerns that were brought forward.
The council had a chance to read it. Do you have any questions or concerns?
Was this posted as public? Yeah, so it was posted publicly on the meeting agenda, so everyone should have read it then. So I believe we've addressed the issues that were brought forward at the meetings over the past few months. And I believe the Snowmobile Club is in favor and has got a quote to do an endangered species study and any environmental assessments or anything that needs to be done. So, does council, I guess the public works has a report to
No, it's just part Tammy's,
Yeah,
just to address the road, crossings and whatnot. Any of the proposed areas where there were hard top, we did. Work with the club. Keep the trail off of hard top, so
okay,
that should mitigate any damage to our hard tops and any problems that you're gonna travel on are already gonna be. Plowed and snowpacked as it is and frozen, so there's really no damage, it's going to be into the gravel. Maybe in the early spring months, if there's still snow in traffic, there might be some running or straight grading will take care of that on gravel and.
okay. So,
I just want to mention that was presented with an additional 90 signatures. Petition opposed to the snowmobile trail and also some more concerns about litigation. Or liability, sorry.
That's for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to bring to your attention something.
oh, okay, I just, that's okay. So I guess this concern is, about, the different, they feel there's a difference between VLR township requirements for liability coverage on the unopened road allowance versus liability coverage provided by the Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Club. What happens off-season when the trail is closed? We know that in all likelihood, the trail will be trespassed upon by off-road vehicles and others. It does not appear that our township will assume any liability responsibility for usage of the trail, while the snowmobile club only covers snowmobiles during winter months. Who will be held liable should a hiker or someone on an ATV be injured, and what if a snowmobiler without a trail permit is injured on the trail during winter? And there's an article they attached of controversy between snowmobile club and the county over use of Northumberland forest trails. This trails will be gated once the snowmobiles aren't using them. And I mean, I know, yes, you say they can trespass, but anyone can have anyone trespass anywhere, so. That is. So I don't know how council feels like this, if they're comfortable with making a decision tonight.
Is there pertinent information within that?
Well, that's the first I've seen it, so it was received today, so it hasn't. So. And I know a lot of the municipalities just signed the standard MOU from the snowmobile club. But we've been advised not to do that, to have our lawyer prepare the agreement that we will be protected. So,
What if I could ask them, because the homeowners adjacent to the property, we're very concerned about liability issues, because if somebody goes off the trail onto our property, then we're liable, which would increase, we have legal fees, right? We need to drop by our insurers. That's a lot, so would it be possible for you to add to that phrase, and we need to add the adjacent landowners that we would be protected as well?
we can bring that point up. Do you have anything under
There's
your?
nothing if we're adjacent landowners that haven't signed an MOU with the OFSC or covered. They have their own homeowners insurance. And the snowmobiler, if he's off and trespassing on somebody's property, he's committing an illegal act, OPP would charge them, and they would have no action for suing.
If I may receive, occupiers liability act, it's on the landowner. Only there's no real close are going to be involved in something, so I'm not aware. But it's the occupiers liability act, which states similar to what Stefan said, when you trespass, you now take on liability, that's what's in the act. Furthermore, if you allow someone on your property, but you for recreational purposes, don't even charge them anything, that person also assumes the liability. So there is an act that I think provides protection in those cases, that's why we receive, and that's an issue also.
My understanding is that insurance companies will often, the person you made, you think if somebody's trespassing, you would not right to sue you if it themselves. But my understanding is that we can still take it to court and then insurance companies will often settle. Right, because homeowners can't afford to keep finding something, right? And then that would still mean increase the insurance rates for that homeowner and it would still need to be less for the homeowner.
So, where are we?
Has the club run into anything like that?
We're not aware of it being an issue. It's not, like, in most cases, so we'd have to look at where the trail's going. But there would be physical barriers like trees and things that would make it difficult. But I'm not saying it's impossible, depends whether it would be easy.
We're just trying to think how that differs from just regular trespassing every day without a trail going by.
Yeah.
People trespass all the time.
People going by on the trail the same day.
Yeah, but typically most snowmobilers now, with their sleds, will go off trail because they want to stay on the groomed trail. They don't want to go into open areas or ditches where they're gonna typically get stuck.
And the concern is also about what happens off season and after the trail is out, because we know, we've heard people say that they're gonna go on the trails with their ATVs.
They won't be able to access that road allowance. It will be completely gated. Township will have a key and we will have a key.
Yeah, but you go around, they get people
So
go
we're
around.
gonna be piling blocks.
There's
now, it's like the sand pit, they go around the gate.
And then you can't tell me that.
Okay, we're getting out of control here because no one has filed out a delegation paper to speak tonight. So, you know, we're starting to get on the what ifs and the maybes and it could happen. And yes, it could happen, but what's the chances? It could happen if there's no snowmobile trail also. So where does council feel we're at here? Are we ready to make a decision or do we?
Well, my thoughts on it are. I don't like opening a concession road just for snowmobilers. If it was open to everybody, that'd be something different. And when I was looking at that map they had, why don't they just shoot straight across the Gainey Road and right down?
So I think where you're going, Councillor Banks, is we're discussing on whether or not we're gonna go ahead with the trail. If we're gonna discuss it, I think we should have a motion put forward.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I mean, that's when we can give her.
I thought that's what she was at.
It is, but I mean,
Just need a
really,
motion. Oh,
we're
okay.
talking to
Yeah, we're just,
something that should be a motion,
yeah,
if council's ready to go forward and decide this.
and
Like, I think we should, because we just can't keep putting it off. And putting
no,
it
it
off
has to come to,
to an end someplace.
yeah. Do we have a resolution anywhere else? Yeah, hold it.
No, when you have one, your area, that's what the council wants to go forward.
Okay. Should we do it or should we do it under?
No, we could do that.
Okay, so the resolution will be to support the trail because. And then if it gets enough votes, it'll be passed. Or it can be voted down. So we can't make a motion to not approve it because the request was to approve it, right? So it'll depend on whether it passes with votes or from council or it doesn't. And I mean, even if we approve it, there's still things to be worked out, like with some of the adjacent landowners about gates and there's still, the agreement to go through our.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, if it is approved, the first thing that will be done will be the assessment. And then if there is any species found, then we have to submit for permits with conservation. So
Okay,
That's the way that works, okay? Same with any personal landowner that does trails on their property, they're supposed to have an ESA for report that, okay?
Okay, so the resolution reads that we, the council for the corporation of the county of Blue Mill and Duncan Island, hereby grant support for the proposed snowmobile trail as presented by the Peterson Pathfinders. Approval of the snowmobile trail will be dependent on a satisfactory environmental site assessment on the Peterson Pathfinders and any subcontractors following the recommendations of an environmental site assessment. On the receipt of a satisfactory assessment of risk for species at risk and the execution of an MOU acceptable to the township, and further council directs staff to contact the municipal solicitor to draft an MOU. So I need a mover for that. Bring it to the table. Moved by Councilor Claude, seconded by
Sorry.
Councilor Claude. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask each councillor to speak to the motion. And I don't know who wants to go first. Have any volunteers?
I think usually the mover gets first.
The mover goes first.
Okay, well, based on the information that the staff has put together, answering all the questions that we've seen and the things that have been brought forth. I don't see a reason to turn it down.
Councillor Fallon?
Yeah, I guess for myself, I still have a few concerns. You know, I know council and staff have taken all the information and we've, you know, gathered questions and they've come up with good answers for us and for, you know, for the landowners and everybody that's concerned. Even if we approve this portion of the trail right now tonight, it still doesn't complete the trail, does it? There's still a section from Union Street to Cannon Lake, that's it would be a different agreement, correct?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's another agreement to do. I just find it hard to believe driving on so much gravel road would be an enjoyable snowmobiling experience. I know for myself it wouldn't be. Our shorter winters, take for instance, last winter, we had what, 5 or 6 weeks of winter. Bare roads most of the time. I don't think we have enough snowpack anymore. We do have a standard where we have to plow our roads too and sand to keep our, you know, our residents happy. So I have concerns, of course, with the snowmobile and the vehicle traffic, especially when they're going both ways. The snowmobile traffic on one way, you're obviously gonna get snowmobile traffic going against traffic. So I have concerns in that regard. What happens if the private landowner denies access at the end of the lease? That is where the private trail goes, and I've seen that where private landowners simply deny the lease and then the snowmobile club has to find another route for the trail. You know, there's already 30,000 kilometers of trails in the province. I know that it is a shortcut, that's what the trail will be, but right now, as far as the trails go, they sort of go to the places that service to snowmobilers. I mean, this trail really serves no purpose other than a shortcut. And furthermore, I respect people that have lived here for generations and wish to remain their property is sold. Especially for those that have purchased property for the peacefulness and perhaps the mental rest that they need. So I'm not voting in favor of the
Well, you already heard what I had to say, like I'm not in favor of opening up closed concession. Like I say, if they wanna take it right straight over to Gainey Road and down Gainey Road, it's a public road. They have snowmobile, or they have licenses, and they have insurance. But to open up a closed concession road, just as snowmobilers, like I say, if it was open to everybody, that'd be different. No, I'm against it. I'm against opening it up.
Concerned about the school buses, they go down Valley Road, right?
Yeah, but hopefully, like he's pointed out, the guys that are on their snowmobiles. They know how to handle them and they slow down, and I say hopefully, that's all I'm saying.
Okay. So I think this is one of the biggest issues we have faced on our term of council.
Sure.
And we have strong support from two groups. As I've said, in the beginning, one group will be happy, one group won't be. I have respect for each group and their concerns. I do feel though that our municipality, the only thing we have to grow on is in the tourism industry. We don't have any industries in our area. We're not going to have a company come up and set up to hire people, and people definitely don't want to move here to work in the sauna. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just. And it may not business-wise benefit much in our municipality now, but in the future it may. We've had restaurants that couldn't survive in the winters because the local community doesn't support, there isn't enough to support it. We do have some Airbnbs, there's chance of bed and breakfast open. I know there was concerns that yes, Barry's Bay benefits, but how many of our people work in Barry's Bay? How many people that live in our municipality work in Barry's Bay? So there's pluses to it. I've seen that. There's pluses to it, and I know there's a lot of the thoughts are ifs, ands, and buts. And I don't care what we do, we're always gonna have that 1% that's not gonna follow the rules. It don't matter what we do. And
I have a quick question, what about the noise concerns that all of us who live here, if they're doing a piece of white? That's not an if and but that's guaranteed.
okay, I'm not really sure. Now I lost my train of thought. I think that it's a chance I would take, and we'll work with our people for and against to make it as easy as possible. I know I've said there will be some that's not happening, so anyways, I am leaning to support it. So if we're ready to vote, I will call for the vote. All those in favor? And I'll vote in favor. And against? So the motion is tied and it's lost.
We lost.
What's that mean for you?
Just like that.
What do you, no, what's that mean?
The motion is lost.
Motion is dead.
So let's finish.
The problem now is they will probably be using forest roads and there'll be much more traffic on the municipal roads of snowmobiles.
So maybe there's an alternative, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
The stores,
Yeah.
restaurants, and all. It's not an easy. It's not an easy.
The only thing we could vote on was the other goal. We had no authority to vote on it. So the use of the.
Go down the road, that's it. It'll Great War Road goes.
At least our store will get business.
No, you're not gonna have anybody involved,
Why?
because you
Okay.
can't come through the bridge.
Okay, you have to remember because she's dead.
No, there's no comments. I'm sorry to those that lost and they feel like you do, it would have went through it. So. Democracy at its fun. Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. It's our benefit. Thank you.
good night.
You need that?
No,
You can stay.
You can stay. I didn't see what you said.
Is there something online that,
Eh? What's that?
is there something online showing proposed changes?
It's on the previous agendas, packages.
Or something?
Yeah, sure, like that. What about this one? Go to our website, we can, the meeting for the agendas. And you'll just have to look through, I think it's March one. Go to the.
That's all I was curious.
It'll show you a picture. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So now we're going. 9:3. Okay, we have a resolution from that the council for the corporation, the township of Broome Island, and Raglan directs the operations manager to proceed with distribution of an RFP for the supply and delivery of a 2025 combination roll-off plow truck. Do we have a staff report from you?
Yes, and there.
And, oh, yeah, we should have a mover, I guess, before we go to that. Move by Councilor Taylor, seconded by Councilor Banks. Okay.
Well, thank you. So, as I stated in the resolution, we're looking for council support to move forward with an RFP for a new plow truck / roll-off truck. So, currently the municipality utilizes a 2009 International roll-off truck to transport our garbage to the Broome Highway site. The system was implemented in 2022 and has been successful thus far. It's been brought to staff's attention that the truck frame has a small area of rust jacking and it is starting to deteriorate beyond the allowable limits for it to pass a safety. Basically, the area of concern is where the exhaust crosses over top of the frame and the heat from the exhaust in the winter. Salt and crap is just, it's heating the framework. So we've been advised that it's time to look for an alternative. Which is unfortunate, as we just implemented the system. Anyway, we also have 2 plow trucks that are in need of replacement. And I did some research and come up with a good solution, I believe, for the municipality. To combine the roll-off and a plow truck. There's a system out there. It's made by Viking Surveys, which is the system that we use now, the supplier that we use now for our plow equipment. They offer a municipal option for a roll-off plow truck. So I've done a lot of research on that. I've talked to the representative for Viking, or Ginborg, sorry, themselves Viking. But anyway, back to my report here. We did take the roll off to a shop to have it inspected to see if the frame was repairable. Unfortunately, due to the location of it, the truck would basically have to be dismantled. And they said that it's gonna cost them what the truck's worth and it's not advisable. The engine also has a miss in it, that has happened recently, and we had that looked at as well, it's come up to be a possible, warm camo. So the engine would have to be rebuilt, approximately 12,000 for that too, so. It's time we part ways with the truck. The frame cost, we don't know what that would be, it's a can of worms, once they open it up, it's hard to say what it may take. So yes, so back to the roll-off situation, I think eliminating the 2 trucks, turning into 1, now we have, an area in the shop, there's not gonna be trucks sitting inside and elements all the time. The roll-off generally only gets used once a week at most right now. This will allow it to be used more and not sit around and rust. And yeah.
It's a more efficient solution.
Yeah, absolutely. there's less maintenance costs, safety in motor vehicle, licensing in motor vehicle.
It's nice you could get that combination.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was very happy to see this, I'd like to see it implemented. I think it's gonna be a better solution for us.
So go ahead.
I'm surprised at the possible delivery. I didn't think it'd be that quick.
Yes, and we have to act quickly if we want it to be that way. Right now, unfortunately, international is about 2 years out if we want international. We could have a Western Star tomorrow
Oh,
for another $12,000 to $15,000.
Yeah.
Right, Freightliner, is pretty much on par to be delivered immediately as well. And in fact, there is a cabin chassis in North Bay right now, with our spec.
so then you just put a dump box for sanding on it.
So what the specification that goes out will include a hopper sander.
Yeah,
And it's a roll off unit, so you can roll it off. We already have our garbage bin, so that will adapt onto the
Yeah.
system. You can buy just a dump truck box for it if you wish to. And just use that for summertime use if we want, that could be something we do later on, so it doesn't happen right away. But that is another option, there's options of water tanks. Thinking possibly maybe firewood chip in by a water tank, that truck can now be used for hauling water to a fire. It could be used for water on our roads. Right now, we're borrowing equipment from the county to water our roads. So there's a lot of different options that can be added on to this thing and utilize it more than it would now.
That estimated cost compared to a regular.
Compared to our previous truck that we just bought, they're expecting between $40,000 and $50,000 more just with the cost of
Yeah.
materials going up, and there's a little bit more involved with the roll-off system itself.
So the total cost estimate,
We'll be paying around I'm gonna say approximately 400
400K.
for 4
and that would be in our next year's budget.
This will fall into next year's budget. The lead act now to get the process rolling to secure that the active chassis. Because next year the roll-off is not going to pass us here.
No.
So.
And if by chance we did get it before the end of the year, it can be an unfinanced, you know,
Into next year.
we've done that before, that's perfectly.
I don't think you will, by the time the cabin chassis is outfitted with what it needs to be able to be outfitted with the plow equipment.
Yeah,
Jim Corps doesn't expect to see it until November. By the time they put their build into it, plus the Christmas holiday, they're saying not till the end of January, early part.
so then we would sell the resin roll-off truck and
And one of our
and
trucks.
one of our plow trucks, yeah.
And when you think done, bringing job field.
It's a wild card, really. There's a lot of interest for roll-off trucks. And then somebody may purchase it, fix the frame, and then keep running it, right? Or they may buy it for just the roll-off system itself.
Yeah.
Take it
And to
off, put it
use
on the
off-road.
Jensen. Or to use off-site, at another site that's not on the road.
Right.
So there could be quite a bit of interest for that, it may go for a decent penny. Our plow trucks, we've been seeing anywhere between $8,000 and $12,000 when they go to auction, so. Yeah. It's depending on the time of year you release them, right?
So potentially 20K
I would say more than that,
and more.
I would say you're probably gonna get 20 for the roll on.
Those are the one you think will bring 20?
I would say so. I would say, from what I've been seeing going at auction, they're going slightly,
And then 30, 35.
Well, that's good.
so that'll offset the cost too.
Could bring it down to around 400.
Well, there's no use in keeping trucks that we're going to be, have unknown
We're nickel and dime.
exorbitant costs on.
It's, yeah, there comes a point, nothing lasts forever, we need to realize that, and we just need to find ways to get around it and move forward,
Well, we have to keep our fleet up too, it's looking pretty good, so we have to maintain it.
absolutely.
No, you don't want to jump in the fleet, so money
Yeah.
and fix it.
And when, if you need it,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what.
yeah, no, that's the,
Yeah.
if you're running a business, you can't be from
when you're in the middle of a
Touches like this, yeah.
snowstorm, the tow truck comes to pick up your.
No, you want reliable equipment, then you don't want the guys fighting with the stuff that they're trying to use to go work with.
The plow that we would be proposing to remove from service is an ex-county plow, it's lived its life, it's
Don't
Yeah.
take it on that. Roughly.
not what you would think, it's probably 250, 275.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not that many.
it's not crazy.
No, it's not like they're running a couple 100 kilometer trips, like
No,
tractor
yeah,
trailer.
they're not on the road every single
No,
day.
they're big, so.
No.
But they're hard lives.
Hey,
They're hard lives, so.
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, any more questions or comments? Okay,
I'm hoping to have this out and back for our August meeting to see what happens.
okay,
So fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Well, he said that's a lot of miles, but Dad had 2 million kilometers on it, especially if you're at the George William Park.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was still.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the well maintained, worth it.
you're well maintained.
Yeah.
So that would meet the timeline to still get your machine in January?
Yeah, yeah. They have. Inco's put a little bug in Freightliner's ear saying that there's possibly never going from us, super holding the cab chassis for us until we make a decision.
But yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, just the only reason I was asking is so you're not put at risk for the winter time.
No, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, okay.
okay, I'll call for the vote, all those in favor,
Yeah.
opposed, the motion is carried.
Thank you.
We have a resolution from our community development coordinator, I believe that's. That we, the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel and Falcon Raglan, hereby approve added working hours for the rink and facilities caretaker. To assist the BLR Recreation Committee to move equipment to and from the BLR Community Center Hall when special events are taking place. Can I get a motion for that, please? Moved by Councillor Banks, seconded by Councillor Quad. Anybody have any comments on
Is
this?
this an hour enough?
No, they need help, well, they need help. And I think it was what, a whole hour or something like that, each way?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, is an hour enough?
What's that?
Is an hour enough time?
That was that timeline was directly from the rec committee,
Okay,
and they will help Kevin as well, they're not just throwing it on him, they're gonna help him too, but they just need that extra
Yeah.
support.
I was just wondering. How much stuff there was, whether an hour covers it.
It's a lot for the small recreation committee to have to do that, I mean. Part of it is like we're getting the benefit of the rental, so.
So, I'm just saying, is it enough or should it be an hour and a half?
I don't know. It's.
Well, we can always try
I
it
know,
out.
that's what I'm saying.
There's a lot to
Yeah.
say, all
I
that
don't
stuff out for the seniors every Tuesday. And if it's on the ice surface, I know the pickleball nets and everything. Like,
We can try an hour and ask, you can always come back and say, look, we need an hour and a half.
Well, I was thinking,
Yeah.
boy, that's, yeah, I know it sounds always an hour, but I mean, it's a lot of stuff to move
The
around.
biggest thing that they have to move is like the stuff that's in the hall, just moving it to the ice surface for when they're staying in the hall.
I guess they,
I think
that's a good idea, though.
What's in the hall,
I think
card tables. Card tables,
Yeah,
because
because
the
the
ping
ping
pong,
pong is
the shuffleboard.
They have the ping pong on the rent surface.
Okay, usually. Okay,
Unless they got more than one.
well, in the winter time, they have it in the.
Yeah.
They do.
so what does council feel then, an hour
I'll say,
as requested?
let's just try an hour, and I think they figure they need an hour and a half, or,
Yeah,
yeah, we can always increase it.
Give it a try and see if it's enough, I guess.
okay. Okay, I'll call for the vote, all those in favor? Yes.
Yes,
Opposed? None, resolution is carried. A resolution for correspondence of the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel and Dr. Raglan hereby accept the correspondence as circulated. So. there any correspondence in there that anybody wants pulled? For support?
The resolution to exempt emergency vehicles from the emission standards.
Yeah,
I was looking at, I read that one, I think we should vote on that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Jordan about our fire trucks. How does that impact you guys?
I haven't read much into this yet, but currently we are not required to do emissions tests. Until they win, to transfer ownership. So that's currently, I'm not sure if they're proposing that.
Yeah, when you read through it, what the Bolshoi guys are talking about, it's impactful because they're gonna push it in.
Yeah.
Or if we buy a used truck from out of county.
Yeah. I have to read more, it's to speak on more, but
I should be it'd be nice if there was a little leniency because there's no money.
yeah.
It's tough on everybody.
yeah,
When you read through. What those
It's
guys are
just
saying.
annual safeties for the amount of miles our vehicles are on. Even annual safety is, it's eating there, but yeah,
Oh, yeah.
still costs us fuel to drive to and from the job, and
It's time.
they still have their part, still costs for the administration of it, even if it doesn't need anything, so it's still. I don't know,
No, I agree with what William's saying about pulling out.
I don't recommend council support it.
Yeah,
okay, anything else?
how about the resume assessment cycle? We definitely has to be looked at.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
we're gonna need revenue in this township in this.
Well, yeah, we're gonna we're still on 26.
Yeah,
26.
Market value assessment,
Yeah,
that's,
you look at how much the average property since 2016 has increased
Oh,
in value in this township.
Yeah,
Can you imagine getting your assessment, it's 200,000,
Well, it
150
depends.
cents, 300?
it depends on where the shift is going to go into.
That's right.
I mean, is it going to shift to seasonal? Is it
Yeah,
going
I'm
to
sure,
shift to residential? Is it like,
yeah, cause I guess I could even shift to like vacant land or whatever.
It has to happen just to pass.
I can see,
Everything's gone up and
Yeah,
no revenue, our revenues are changing.
yeah, I can see them bringing in like, when they did. The days in certain classes, because I mean,
they don't ever afford it, like.
they'll never, the taxes would be,
But it's gotta be looked at.
it needs to be looked at, it's time.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
And I think what they're doing is they're probably getting so much pressure from the cities. Because election year is in 2026, and they're not gonna wanna have a new market value assessment year for them.
no,
An election year, I mean, heaven forbid. So I'm sure they're receiving a lot of pressure from the cities to. Cause I had heard that it would be 2027. Which will be the year after election, which is kind of. I mean, it's not helping any of us.
I know to maintain what happens here and maintain the fleet and have good, we need revenue coming in from the tax base.
Yeah.
And we're sitting at 16 and look at where prices have went from 16 to 24. We're still pulling 16.
yeah, that's 8 years, right?
Taxes.
Yeah, I think we should support that.
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, I'll call for the vote then to. Oh, I didn't get a mover second, okay,
And I did friendly amendment to, circulated with the exception of item 10.2 and 10.3 to be brought to the next meeting of council.
okay, so I need a mover for that, please. Councilor Lang, seconded by Councilor Dodd. I'll call for the vote, all in favor,
Yes,
opposed, none, motion is carried.
Was 2027, was that talked about at the county?
I've read it somewhere, or it could have come through emo
Okay,
or Roma, I'm not
yeah,
sure,
maybe wrong.
probably more emo. Okay, we have a resolution that the council for the corporation for township of Blue Island, Dock and Raglan give tentative approval of the application for shoreline road allowance purchase to Patricia Thurbide. So this is just preliminary.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments on? You move. Councilor Conklin, seconded by Councilor Keller. Questions or comments?
Where is that?
Yeah.
Wasn't very clear on the.
Yeah, you know, it's on water, but where?
It's on Laurel Lake Road.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll call for the vote, all those in favor? Opposed, none? Motion is carried. Okay, we have another resolution that the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindop and Raglan approval and severance application B 4224 1 and B 4324 2 for Loretta Green for the creation of 2 new lots, providing that all the conditions as listed in the County of Brantford planning report concerning this division of land are met, and further that the applicant extend the Charity Road 46 meters and constructed to the Ontario provincial standard drawings and specifications to obtain the minimum road frontage required for severance purposes, including a sufficient turnaround for municipal snow removal vehicles. Could I get an order for that, please?
I can move.
Moved by Councilor Caulfield, seconded by Councilor Banks. Okay, so this is like the one we did for.
Spencer?
Yeah. So they have enough frontage on municipal.
Yeah.
No problem with that, Jordan?
No, she should have very easy going, there's already a bit of a road there, it's just a matter of catching it up, some gravel on it and making a turn in there.
Okay, any further comments or questions? I'll call for the vote, all those in favor? Yes. Opposed, none? Carried. Okay, we have a resolution that the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel and Dock and Raglan approve the request made from Wayne Donaldson for an in-kind donation of up to $150 in the way of no charge, photocopying, printing and laminating of the event posters and paperwork for. Which event is this?
That's
For the paddle for Benny.
Yeah.
Okay, yes,
For mental versus go to mental health.
yeah. And we've done this in the past, right?
I don't think so.
No, I don't remember doing that.
Okay. Well, how does council feel about, well, we should have a motion. Mover,
I can move.
Councilor Caulfield, seconded by
Second.
Councilor Keller. How does council feel about that?
And just for council's information, he does come to the office every year to get all those photocopying and printing and all that stuff done for the event. They're just trying to increase their revenue for donating to mental health.
You know, it's for mental health and all that, I can support that.
Yeah. We seem to have a crisis going on at this point. Last night on the news, there was, Ottawa, it was on about the opioid crisis and for county.
It's all around us.
Okay, so I'll call for full roll. Yes. Opposed, none, motion is carried. This is the one?
Yeah.
Okay, you can put it up to the top or I can read. Is that it?
That's about all I can do.
Okay. So
I'll move
this.
it down as we go.
Okay, so this resolution came from our last council meeting that we were going to support. Whereas Eastern Ontario's small rural municipalities face insurmountable challenges to fund both new growth, related infrastructure, and ongoing maintenance of their capital assets, including local roads and bridges, clean water, waste facilities, and municipal buildings, including recreational facilities and libraries. And whereas the Federation of Canadian Municipalities has calculated that municipal governments across Canada are responsible for approximately 60% of public infrastructure that supports our economy and quality of life, but only receives 10 cents of every tax dollar. And whereas the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus region's capital infrastructure deficit has increased by 58% since 2011 and is now at 6 billion and growing. And whereas in 2018, Ontario government mandated all Ontario municipalities to develop and fully fund capital asset management plans by July 2025. And whereas the EOWC has released a regional municipal infrastructure policy paper showing key infrastructure data, opportunities, and challenges in small rural municipalities across Eastern Ontario. And whereas Eastern Ontario is a growing economy that can grow more with substantial innovative infrastructure, partnership, and investment from the federal and Ontario governments. And whereas the infrastructure deficit for small rural municipalities cannot be adequately addressed through property tax revenue, restricted municipal borrowing capacity, and municipalities' limited ability to generate revenue. And whereas small rural taxpayers cannot afford dramatic increases to pay for the current and future infrastructure. Now therefore we have resolved that the Corporation of the Township of Brunel and Rival joins the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, and the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, in calling on the federal and Ontario governments to immediately and sustainably partner with municipal governments by investing in both the new and ongoing maintenance and repairs of municipal infrastructure in Eastern Ontario's small rural municipalities. And that the federal and Ontario governments immediately review data and work together to implement solutions based on the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus municipal infrastructure policy paper in partnership with small rural municipalities. And finally, that this be forwarded to the Honorable Justin Trudeau, the Honorable Sean Fraser, Infrastructure, Minister of Housing and Infrastructure and Communities of Canada, the Honorable Doug Ford, the Honorable Kingus Zuma, the Honorable Paul Calandra, the Honorable Lisa Thompson, the Honorable Peter Bethlehem Foley, I don't know how you say that one. The Honorable Parmeet Sakaria. Now I got lost, the Honorable Victor Fideli. Job Creation and Trade, the Honorable Cheryl Gilman, John Yankovsky, the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, AMO, Canada Mortgage and Housing, Loma, and Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus. Can I get a mover of that, please? Moved by Councilor Claude, seconded by Councilor Benz. Any questions or comments? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in opposed, none, motion is carried. We have a request for we need a resolution that the council of the corporation of the township of Brunel and Raglan accept the Tree Music Festival special event notification as information only. Can you get a mover, please? Councilor Banks, seconded by Councilor Claude. Any comments?
No.
Is the roll paid?
No.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. Yes. Motion is carried. So we have our financial reports. A resolution of the corporation of Brunel and Raglan, except the year-to-date data, budget variances and monthly expenses summary as presented. Everybody's reviewed those? Everybody's happy?
It's not too bad yet.
I can do that.
I'll get a mover, moved by Councilor Color, seconded by Councilor Vance. Any comments or questions?
No.
Okay. I'll call for the vote, all those in favor?
Yes.
The motion is carried. The 2024 PSAP budget, which is something we have to do every year according to legislation. So we reviewed this with Will. Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay. I need one word.
We're gonna do a resolution.
And,
You didn't do the resolution yet.
oh, I didn't read, it. I'm really losing it here. That we, the council for the corporation, of the township of Brunel and Dr. Ragland approve the 2024 PSAP budget as per Ontario regulation 28409. Okay, now I'll get into it. Councilor Claus, seconded by. Second, okay, any questions or comments?
No.
Okay, I'll call for the vote, all those in favor?
Yes.
Motion's carried. A bylaw for the funding agreement. That we, the council of the corporation, of the township of Brunel and Dr. Ragland hereby adopts bylaw 2024-26, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement between the corporation, the township of Brunel and Dr. Ragland, and the Ontario the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, having been introduced and read a first, second, and third time, finally passed. Can I get a mover, please? Councilor Fowler, seconded by Councilor Banks. Any comments or questions? This is the gas tax, yes. Yeah. Okay. So, I'll call for the vote on that one. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. And we have a bylaw for to approve the building. Fees, the change in permit fees. Reads that we, the council of the corporation of the township of Brunel and Dr. Ragland hereby adopts bylaw 2024-27, being a bylaw to amend Schedule A of bylaw 2011-15, construction, demolition, and change of use permits and inspections, having been introduced and read first, second, and third time and finally passed. Can I get a mover for that, please? Councilor Day, seconded by Councilor Claude. Any questions or comments?
No.
They all call for the vote, all those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, the motion is carried. Okay. Now we have a resolution to go to committee of the whole. The Reading Council of the Corporation, the Township of Brunel and Northern Ragland go into closed session pursuant to the Municipal Act 2001, Section 239, Sub 2, for the purposes of two items under subsection B regarding personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. Can I get a mover for that, please? Councilor Banks, seconded by Councilor Campbell. I'll call for the vote.
Yeah.
In favor? Motion is carried. Thank you. Are you ready? Okay, welcome back. We're back out to our open meeting. In closed session, council received information regarding two identifiable individuals. And join the back. We have a resolution that council comes out of the closed session at 8:26 p.m. I'm over. Councilor Keller, seconded by Councilor Banks, all those in favor? Yes. Motion is carried. Okay, so we have another resolution that says council for the corporation of the township of Brunel and Dr. Ragland hereby direct the clerk treasurer proceed to proceed with direction given in the closed session. Can I get a mover for that? Councillor Caldwell, seconded by Councillor Quad. Any questions or comments?
No.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion is carried. And we need, a resolution that we, the council of the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindau, and Raglan, hereby adopts bylaw number 2024-28, being a bylaw to delegate authority to the municipal treasurer to authorize the execution of a tax arrears extension agreement pursuant to section 378 of the Municipal Act 2001, having been introduced and read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed. Can I get a mover for that? Councillor Banks, seconded by Councillor Caldwell. Any comments or questions?
No.
Okay, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
The motion is carried. We have a bylaw resolution that we, the council of the corporation, the township of Brunel, Lindau, and Raglan, hereby adopts bylaw 2024-29, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the July 3rd, 2024 regular meeting of council, having been introduced and read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed. Can I get a mover for that, please?
No.
Councillor Keller, seconded by Councillor Vaughn. Any comments or questions?
No.
I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
The motion is carried. And our final resolution of the night, that this meeting adjourns at 8:29 PM. Can I get a mover to that? Councillor Caldwell. Councillor Banks.